For niche selection, I've got like quite a few different videos that I've shared, because that process that I took back then has advanced quite a bit now. But how I went about that was funny, because I was promoting a CPA product that actually was about dogs, yeah, like golden retrievers. And that's how I made the transition into the website. So I never had a particular process of like evaluating opportunities and different things. I just kind of thought, I used my common sense and thought, okay, like a dog is like a baby. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. And people are always going to buy for their dogs. You know, it's just one of those things. So then I thought, okay, again, like there was no kind of process or course or anything that taught me that. But I had taken a lot of courses up until that point, though. So maybe that was a bit of, you know, what helped me. But I looked at it and thought, okay, I'm not going to go into generic like a dog website, because that's going to be very highly competitive. You don't need to kind of know SEO to know that. Yeah, that's quite common sense. So I thought, okay, if I niche down into one particular type of dog, then I'll have a better opportunity. You know, so from there, the first kind of people I started following was like Income School in regards to SEO. So I started building up the site with these kind of question keywords, you know, these low competition keywords, and following their process of like doing response posts and whatever else. And over time, I started to realize, because I've got a mechanical engineering background, prior to driving the trains, I was an engineer. So I realized that like I started seeing all these other people doing all the technical stuff, you know, and I thought that looks really attractive to me as well. And I thought you have a little bit more control than what they're teaching, you know, so their method is very good. But what I understand now is there's two different approaches that you can take, and it all depends on your like kind of exit strategy, how you're going to monetize the site and all those different things. So my general approach to niche research at this point has changed quite a bit. If you want to know now, like I'll actually go and see some successful websites, whether I'll go and see it on like a marketplace or something like that, and I'll evaluate it. I'll go and research some of the general keywords within the industry to see if there's an opportunity for me to rank. And my keyword research process, as you asked on that as well, I've got like, I use quite a few different methods, to be honest. It depends on what kind of approach. The way I see it is there's many ways to skin a cat, as they say. So sometimes I do like a reverse engineer method, yeah, and I teach that on my channel. So what I do with that is I'll go and like find an easy kind of question keyword that will bring up a lot of low authority sites. So the way I do that is I'll go and source it on like, Answer the Public or something like that. And that's just going to give me a seed keyword. From there, I drum it into my tool. Sometimes I'm using Ahrefs, sometimes I'm using keysearch.co. Yeah, that's another tool that I use regularly. And what I do is once that I drum that keyword in within it's like a niche related keyword, that then brings up hopefully some low authority sites. Like, you know, if I don't get it on the first time, I'll keep drumming in more words. And what I do is once I get those sites coming up, I'll reverse engineer those sites. So I'll go and actually find all the keywords that they're ranking for within the first 1 to 10 results. And if they got like a DA 15 or something and they got like, you know, less than 30 backlinks, and I always check do follow links, because those are the ones that count. You know, some people look at the whole link profile and there's a lot of scraped links and all these different things. Whereas it's the do follow links you want to pay attention to. So if I see that it's a low authority site and I've established that, I'll basically reverse it, bring up all the keywords that they show up for in 1 to 10. And then when I actually even put any of those keywords in, they're all like low competition, because there's a low authority site ranking for it. So the only way they can establish that is by the keyword being of low difficulty. Yeah. So then I've got a list of these keywords. When I've got those keywords, I put those keywords into the tool, and that brings up more sites. So the positions 2, 3, 4, 5 are all going to be more low authority sites. And I just do that recursive process, and I just keep picking out keywords nonstop. So that's one way. That's probably the most beneficial way I'll teach anyone at the moment, because it can get quite technical and confusing.
That's great. I mean, you're looking at the signs that are out there in the world. You don't have to like recreate the wheel. And I know some
Mm,
people really struggle to find the low competition keywords, but you're
mm,
literally going to low authority kind of websites.
mm,
And just by definition, those are probably going to be the lower competition
mm.
keywords. So very
Because
good.
even if you set up filters, then if you're reversing a website, say for example, and it's a low authority site, they're ranking for like, I don't know, a couple hundred keywords, but then they've got like about 25 in the top 10, and they're very niche specific to your industry. Well, what can happen is you can set up filters. So you can filter it and say, okay, I only want to show keywords that are showing 100 searches or above. So straight away, you've got a bunch of keywords that have over on average, according to the tool, as we know, is just like a ballpark figure, but you know that they have relatively okay search volume and they're easy to rank for. So it just plucks out all of those keywords from those sites.
Awesome. Yeah. And I mean, it would be arguable, I think, to just ignore the search volume as long as it's showing up on a
Mm,
keyword tool at all.
mm,
There is some amount of volume.
mm.
So
And then just
very
to
cool.
kind of add in, at the end of that process or any keyword research process that I use, I'll always go and do a manual check last. So that's one thing that anyone who's taking information from this video, you need to remember, is that once you've established the keywords that you're going to be targeting, you then need to go and manually actually check them and assess them to see who's showing up in the top 10. So I usually just go to Google, no tools, anything like that, assess the level of quality of content on the first ranking page. Are they bang on topic? All those different, general practice things.
Is there something that you see specifically where you decide, all right, this is a bad keyword? What are things you look for there?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes if I see something that, again, like I use my intuition quite a lot. If it seems like something that I don't feel that people are searching a lot and it's showing me like a zero search volume, then I sometimes can be a little bit skeptical if I haven't got any data to give me evidence that that might have a potential. But a lot of the time, what I find with keywords, because right now I'm starting a site where I'm ranking a lot of zero search volume keywords, and that site, like, I've only got like 14 articles on it, and it's already getting like 3,000 visitors per month. Yeah, but and they're mainly like about 80% of the keywords are zero search volume. What I find with SEO and with anything is you need to just go out and test it, and that's all it is, because everyone can give you all the different theories, but then you might have a different experience because your niche could be different, or it's a different time of year and people are behaving different. So there's so many different things. So ultimately what I do is I just put the content out there and then wait for the results. And the way you assess that is through your rankings and traffic, Google Analytics and whatever else. So that's what I tend to do, so I don't really have something that completely puts me off. Like I'm recently focusing a lot on silos and things like that. So if I see something of high competition, then I might say, okay, you know what, this is going to be like a new hub, so and then I'm going to build sub pages under this, so the only things that can veer me off is if I see these big authorities in the top 10, and I'm thinking, you know what, that's like almost like an impossible approach that I'm going to have to take. It's never going to happen. But in that scenario, I might still give it a chance, as I said, because you have to test. And I might say, you know what, I'm going to build out a load of sub pages that are completely low competition, but then I'm going to link them all up to that main article.
Okay. And you mentioned a couple things around content. So let's sort of
Hmm.
shift in that direction.
Hmm.
So where do you get the content? Do you write it yourself or are you outsourcing it?
Yeah, so I started off writing the content. That's how I started. Now I outsource, like I share all of that on the YouTube channel as well. Because again, I test a lot. So, right now I found one of my good writers. A lot of people don't like Upwork, but I found a really good writer on Upwork. And she's brilliant. So I've had her on for about 3 months. And she writes specifically for this website in question, the dog website. And then I've used iWriter quite a bit in the past, but iWriter can be low quality, a lot of the content, but I have got a method again of establishing good writers on that using the filters that iWriter actually gives you. So you're able to filter out and get to the golden gems on that platform, which a lot of people don't use. They just go on there and order content and expect it to be good. Yeah. So I look at all the past data of the activity of those people and whatever else. The other thing is I use Pro Blogger. So like where I'm working direct with people, and Freelancer, or whatever the freelance platform's called. So I've got one writer from there who's really, really good as well. Well, there's one that I'm working with personally that I've taken off there from a long time ago, and another one that I've recently found. So predominantly at the moment, I'm really loving Upwork. And then I'm also using that freelance platform. But freelance, I wouldn't put on the same level as Upwork in regards to quality, because you have to filter through a lot of crap to get to the good.
Do you know why people don't like Upwork? Because I love it personally, and
Yeah.
I know some
It's
people maybe
convenient,
struggle.
I think, more than anything, because you're able to just control like an entire kind of business at your fingertips, you know. So you can have someone on a contract, like on a one-time payout, or someone on an hourly wage, and someone doing outreach. Like I've got like 4 people at the moment doing outreach for this same site, and they're constantly updating Excel spreadsheets. So I'm just able to go in and say, okay, I want that link, I want this, and use this anchor text and whatever else. And then I want you to pitch a different asking fee to whatever they've put across, you know. So they negotiate and do all those different things for sometimes as cheap as like $10 a month. Sorry, $10 per hour. And in that scenario, where people go wrong, I think, especially when they're building links, is they don't understand anchor text ratios, and they also don't understand how to vet the links. So I think that's how you can get cheap links, because I'm able to vet the links. So I assess the websites that I'm actually getting the links from in the first place.